Tyra lay down there, and me ask, see Tyra, what shall do there? See Tyra, ice up she petticoat, wine like a boxing coat. See Tyra, move and day, oh see Tyra, move and day. See Tyra, move and day, oh see Tyra, move and day.
Sunday morning I was passing, and me see Tyra lay down there, and me ask, see Tyra, what you do there? See Tyra, ice up she petticoat, wine like a boxing coat. See Tyra, move and day, oh see Tyra, move and day. See Tyra, move and day, oh see Tyra, move and day. Shake, 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 Tyra, shake, 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 Tyra, shake, 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 Tyra, oh.
One day me been a wakana, and me see Tyra pon the dam, and me ask see Tyra what she do there. See Tyra ice up she petticoat, wine like a boxing coat. See Tyra move and day, oh see Tyra move and day. See Tyra move and day, oh see Tyra move and day.
One day me been a wakana, and me see Tyra on the dam, and me ask see Tyra what she do there. See Tyra ice up she petticoat, wine like a boxing coat. See Tyra move and day, oh see Tyra move and day. See Tyra move and day, oh see Tyra move and day.
See Tyra
Move and shake, 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 Tyra, shake, 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 Tyra, shake, 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 Tyra, oh.
one day me been a bamboo dam, and me see Tyra lay down there, and me ask see Tyra what shall do there. See Tyra ice up she petticoat, wine like a boxing coat. See Tyra move and day, oh see Tyra move and day. See Tyra move and day, oh see Tyra move and day.
Sunday morning I was passing, and me see Tyra lay down there, and me ask see Tyra what you do there. See Tyra ice up she petticoat, wine like a boxing coat. See Tyra move and day, oh see Tyra move and day. See Tyra move and day, oh see Tyra move and day. Shake, 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 Tyra, shake, 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 Tyra, shake, 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 Tyra, oh.
One day me been a wakana, and me see Tyra pon the dam, and me ask see Tyra what she do there. See Tyra ice up she petticoat, wine like a boxing coat. See Tyra move and day, oh see Tyra move and day. See Tyra move and day, oh see Tyra move and day.
One day me been a wakana, and me see Tyra on the dam, and me ask see Tyra what she do there. Tyra ice up she petticoat, wine like a boxing coat. See Tyra move and day, oh see Tyra move and day. See Tyra move and day, oh see Tyra move and day.
See Tyra
Move and day.
oh see
Shake, 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 Tyra, shake, 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 Tyra, shake, 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 Tyra, oh.
one day me been a bamboo dam, and me see Tyra lay down there, and me ask see Tyra what she do there. See Tyra ice up she petticoat, wine like a boxing coat. See Tyra move and day, oh see Tyra move and day. See Tyra move and day, oh see Tyra move and day.
Sunday morning I was passing,
Attorney Shellen Washington, owner and founder of the Washington Law Firm, located at 455 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. We're specialized in medical malpractice, personal injuries, matrimonial law, and landlord and tenant. If you're in need of legal representation, please give us a call today. The number to call is 718-877-3100. Consultation is free at no cost to you. So call us today to see if we can be of any assistance to your legal needs. Again, the phone number to call us is 718-877-3100.
If you are looking to have your statutory declaration, affidavit of income, identity, damage or lost passport, lost license, tenancy agreement, agreement of settlement, power of attorney, last will and testament, and certification of documents, then you need to visit the Alistair Collins firm, located at the Kellyan Mall, 162 Lamaha Street in Georgetown, between Camp and Waterloo Street. Alistair Collins is a commissioner of oaths and a justice of the peace. Make certain you visit him or call for more information at 649-6410 or 685-6448 or 503-1451. And there's adequate parking available. Go down to the Alistair Collins firm and have all of your legal issues settled and brought to the fore. Alistair Collins Firm. Contact them at Alistair Collins Firm.
All right. Hey, good evening. My name is Mark Benchap. Of course, that's not me in any of those of the three photographs there, as you all should know by now. But good evening. We are going to rock and roll for about an hour, which means at 10 o'clock, a little after 10, we're out of here, we're gone, and that's it for the night until we are back again tomorrow. But tonight we want to deal with some serious issues, as we usually do right here on 107.1 FM. All we do is just once we ask you to share the link, and if you share the link, we appreciate it. If you don't want to share the link, well, we can't force you, we can't beg you, we can't grab your hands, we can't at all. We just can't do that to you guys. And so, all right, but we appreciate for those of you who do share the link. We appreciate and we're very thankful of that. And like I've said, and I oftentimes do say, we just say it once, that's it. Thank you for sharing the link. We just don't say it at all the second time. All right, let's begin right away. Just before I read this comment, it's Lincoln Lewis, veteran trade unionist. He's my guest this evening on Straight Up. So be prepared for Lincoln Lewis. I want to ask him some questions about economic genocide in Guyana under the PPP regime. I want to ask about apartheid in Guyana under the PPP regime, massive racial discrimination under the PPP regime. But here's a comment from a Brenda Cassie, and Brenda is saying, hey, Mark. Oh, well, thank you, Brenda. Brenda is lowercase letters tonight. Oh, thank you so much, Brenda. Anyways, Brenda is saying here, Mark, I had enough of us in the diaspora fighting for Guyanese in Guyana. Meanwhile, the parliamentarians and the people couldn't care. They preferred to party rather than to protest for a clean voters list. I agree with you, but the parliamentarians should go out. They should go in front of GCOM, the leader of the opposition. He said that Claudette Singh got to go. They need to go out there and protest. You can't just issue a press release or sit at some press conference and expect that Claudette Singh is going to go, or expect that they're going to do what is right at the Guyana Elections Commission. But I guess these guys are strategists. They think they know it all. Those folks at Congress Place, they are strategists. They are know-it-all politicians, I call them. Post it all on social media politicians. Think they know it all, politicians, mind you. But let's get back to what Miss Casey is saying here, that they like to party and, oh gosh, they love to do this. I mean, hey, nothing's wrong with a little jump up here and there, right? But I got you in terms of priority. But you can't blame the ordinary folks. The ordinary people, when they see that they don't have strong leadership, that's when they go out and they're like, okay, politicians don't give a damn. The politicians are out there enjoying themselves. What the heck? They might as well just enjoy themselves too. That's what's happening in Guyana. And until the politicians, especially those on the opposition side, come to the realization that representation of the people is not posting a couple of Facebook page posts and photographs and complaining. Be there on the ground to show and to prove to the people that you guys are indeed fighters. On the ground fighters, not Facebook fighters. Some little silly post sometimes, a little photograph with you here and there, and think that, oh, I'm with the people. It doesn't work like that. But, let's get back to this partying thing. I don't know. What do you guys think? People have no strong leadership in the opposition, and that's a fact. And so they go out and they dance up and they sport up. Nothing different from when the coalition, when they were in office, they had their session, they had bubble sessions, they brought in artists. They did nothing different than these vagabonds are doing. Absolutely nothing. I know that for sure. They did. They didn't. They had their party, they had the big sporting, they bring the artist in. And the same people who are benefiting now with the entertainment and the bubble sessions were the same people who benefited when the coalition was in office. So I'm not seeing much difference as it comes to sporting. But over the weekend, they had this cricket carnival. And oh gosh, some of y'all, if y'all don't like this video, close your eyes. Here's the big bubble session. While GCOM just probably had a couple of protesters, other things happening in the country. And look, we just all what is it? We just dance away and done, huh? If that's what it boils down to. We just follow the crowd. Let's go, guys. It's called clap, 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 clap. So we're not going to go in front of GCOM and clap, 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 clap. We're not going to go in front of office of the president, massive racial discrimination and clap, 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 clap. So guess what? They're just going. So clap, 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 clap. So Brenda, look at the video. People have their priorities because they're not seeing the parliamentarians going out in front of Parliament building or GCOM, sorry, or in front of the office of the president and clap, clap, clap. Well, that sort of clap, clap, clap. But to protest and let the installed regime know that all is not well in that country. Seriously. All is not well, right, Commissioner Cole? And so what we have some of these individuals in the opposition, they're condemning these people who are clap, 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 clap. They're saying stink and dirty and all sort of stuff is not right, is not. If it's not right, offer the people, offer the young people, offer the clap, clap, clap crew an alternative. Empower them, find ways to empower them. Don't condemn them because they're up on stage and they clap, 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 clap. Clap, clap. Don't condemn them because of that. Offer them something different. Because when you condemn them, it doesn't do you as the opposition or those of you who are in the opposition. It does no good to you guys. Understand that times have changed and these people clap different than when probably my generation used to tap. We had tap back then. And the other generation, they had maybe laptop or clap, clap, whatever they had back then. But this is a clap, clap generation. And you've got to be careful how you clapping back at the clap, clap, clap generation. Because when you clap, clap back to this generation in a condescending manner, they're not going to bother with you. You know what they're going to do? They're going to head back on stage. They're going to say to hell with you. And they're going to clap even harder and faster. We've got to find a way out of this situation, though. Here's it. I'm just not going to condemn them. They have every right to do that. They're doing it now. They did it when the coalition was in office. There's always been clapping, 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 clap, 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 clap. So what these people have to do is to get out of there, wherever it is, and stop this so-called hidden strategizing, and they know it all, and they know this and they know that, and the condemnation of the clapping and the twerking, and these things have been around. Thank you so much. And then you hear Raj got on stage, and all sort of things Raj did on stage. I don't know, man. This, we've got to understand this generation. Back in Lincoln Lewis' time, or back in my time, Lincoln's time, they had probably a different kind of thing. In my Yellow Man, in my time, I remember Yellow Man with Zungu 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 Zeng and all kind of thing, and manjalik them with diseases, and then it moved away from that to Sharon, Agala, what you doing? Those sort of things. So we've got to be careful when we want to condemn this clap, 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 clap generation, because every generation had their own little clapping. Some had lapping, some had back lapping, and all kind of lapping. We've got to be very careful as to how we condemn our young people these days. Let's have one more clap before we have our guest, Lincoln Lewis, on. Clap, clap. You see, I said, let's give a round of applause to Lincoln Lewis, who is on with us this evening. No stranger to you guys, veteran trade unionist, a man who's been there for many, many years, put his life on the line, continues to do just that, all in the interest of the Guyanese people. Lots of things happening. We are hearing this and the evidence of Apartheid Guyana under the PPP regime, all manner of things happening. But before we actually welcome our guest, Lincoln, he's already on with us. And good evening to you, Lincoln. Today happens to be World Teachers Day. World Teachers Day. And here it is, you're seeing that Irfan Ali commits to doing much better for teachers. All of this is just BS talk. It's World Teachers Day. They don't give a damn about teachers. They don't give a damn about public servants and anyone. They just don't give a damn. And so because it's Teachers Day, here is what. Irfan Ali commits to doing much better for teachers in World Teachers Day message. Yeah, what much better? What much better when for 23 years they've insulted, they've ill-treated teachers all across the country. They treated teachers as though they are worse than anything else in that country. But now this is what we're hearing. But even on Teachers Day, this is what the teachers are eating. This is what I don't know when was the last time I had a bottle of water, bottle of juice, or whatever that is. And that is a Chinese cake and a cheese roll with no cheese inside of it. Lincoln Lewis, welcome to the program and happy World Teachers Day to you, sir.
Thank you, Mark. Thanks for inviting me. Thanks for the viewership.
Yeah, welcome. But what is your take? Here it is, Irfan Ali is saying he commits to doing much better for teachers in World Teachers Day message, but yet the treatment of teachers. This is not now they're being treated like this, but for 23 years, they've ignored the teachers. And for 2 years after they've been into office now, teachers are not being treated any better under this installed PPP regime. Your take, sir, on the hypocrisy.
Let me tell you, Mark, let me say to you that the teachers are workers like every other worker employee in an entity. And this government and its leaders have marked out for themselves, marked out the way they are going to treat the workers, inclusive of teachers. If they're so concerned, if the government concerned about teachers, don't give them a message to say what we are going to do. Do it. Respect the rights of the teachers who have elected leaders of their choice to negotiate on their behalf. It is important that you sit down with that union and negotiate. Since this government has come to office, it has not negotiated with the teachers union. And that's what they should be doing. It should not be a situation where the government, Mr. Ali and his team, will decide what they will give to teachers. It is for the teachers to say to the representatives, this is what we like to have, and you go and negotiate it. They are not prepared to respect the leadership of any group that may have elected their leaders. We have been experiencing it throughout the life of this government, that you can elect who you want. As workers, you can elect who you want. But the government says, Mr. Ali and his team says, who will lead them. They always have somebody to lead or to replace the elected leaders of organization. Today, you know, while it's World Teachers Day, it runs 15 days since the electricity co-op at Linden is on strike. 15 days. And while the 15 days, I've never seen a strike where we have met 2 times. The union met with the management.
And if I can cut you for a minute, please, sir. What you say there, the folks out in Linden are striking. How long have they been striking again? And what are they striking about?
They are striking about the question of appointments. There are a number of outstanding grievances in that place where, for instance, people are being transferred, and where they are being transferred, without even committing an offense or anything, you're transferred and your pay become less immediately on your transfer. They are protesting the conduct of the management committee, of the members of the management committee of the co-op at Wisma. They felt that while they have not been given an increase, but they have had 160-something% increase on their stipends since they were imposed by the CCBO on the co-op. And they have claimed also that the members of the co-op use their office to incur to buy the finest food. Each day, people will get into the office, sit down and buy the finest, and the co-op has to pay. And they're saying that, look here, they are not prepared to sit down for there to be an increase in pay. So these are some of the matters that are, or the challenges that the workers have, and they have decided 3 Wednesdays ago that they are going to down tools.
Okay, so it is now the 3rd week, and we're seeing this headline here in the Village Voice newspaper online. Not a single official of this installed regime visited Linden to talk to these striking workers? None whatsoever?
No, I'll tell you what. The first day when the strike occurred, which is 3 Wednesdays ago, the union wrote the management advising them that the workers have taken industrial action and they are ready to meet. The union was ready to meet with them to discuss terms of resumption. The union and the general manager met the Friday, and the union lead over what the workers' demands were, and to the general manager, he left with the understanding that he will be consulting with the management committee and return because he don't have a mandate at that juncture. He didn't return, and last week, Friday, the union wrote the management of wrote the chief labor officer. In fact, the letter that was sent to the general manager was copied to the chief labor officer. You know, customary in the past, I've been in this business a long time. the chief labor officer under normal circumstances would have called the parties and said, there's a strike. What is your position? Give both sides an opportunity to update him on what him or her on what may have led to the issue. And efforts would have been made to return to normalcy. Nobody contacted the union until last week Friday, when the union wrote the chief labor officer and informing that we wish to have conciliatory proceedings being put in place to return to normalcy. A meeting was set for Monday. The parties met on Monday under the chairmanship of the chief labor officer, and we advised them. The union presented on behalf of the workers what the demands were, and the general manager said he left to return. The understanding was that we would have met either the same Monday afternoon or by Tuesday or even latest Wednesday, but we have not met. We see it as the union sees it as the normal shenanigan by the government, where it is only some unions issues are being addressed with any degree of alacrity. If GALU was on protest for any reason, that matter would have been, there would have been engagement from the highest level of the Minister of Labor, maybe the same day or within the 24 hours to bring back normalcy. In this case here is that the people who are there, they perceive them not to be their supporters of their political party. So they will leave them out there, let them languish. We're not going to resolve the issues. We're not going to work for normalcy to be returned. These are the type of problems that we have. And when you talk about it, there's always the claim that discrimination don't exist. Some are more equal than some. So there we are. The people are out there.
Let me ask you this, understanding how callous these folks in the installed PPP regime are, and that they don't give a damn about these people who look like them, persons of African descent. They just don't respect or appreciate the contributions made, and these our brothers and sisters, African brothers and sisters, continue to make. Forget about the installed regime. At one point in time, they will come around back to reality. Hopefully, it's not too late. However, with the 3 weeks that these workers have been striking there, what about the leadership of the coalition? Did they visit these folks to talk with them?
Yes, they were. Yes. The regional MP has been there, I believe, giving moral support to them often.
The leadership of the coalition, AFC.
Well, I see the regional MP as a part of the leadership of the coalition.
But I'm talking about the hierarchy in terms of the leadership.
No, I can't see. I haven't seen the leader of the opposition, but what I've seen Mr. Figueira, who's the regional MP. He has been able the times that I've gone to Linden, on every occasion I've gone there to talk with the workers, he was there giving moral support in some form or the other.
They have two regional chairmen out there in Region 10. You're only talking about one.
I can speak of Figueira. I saw him. I know the regional chairman went there to talk with him.
Mr. Darren Adams. And then Figueiro MP, but they have another MP belonging to the AFC. Doesn't the AFC?
Well, I didn't see the other MP, so I can't. And nobody advised me that he was there. But I'll tell you, Figueiro was there.
Yeah. So it looks as though the other MP is out when there's bubble session and big whatever tourist thing. He seems to be more interested in his area of work, but nothing to do with standing up for the people. Still, the leadership at Congress Place, they can be all over the place, but at least the vice chair, the chair, the general secretary is on a long leave, so we can't expect her to be there. but at least those folks from Congress Place. Then they have the shadow minister of labor, and all these man of things should have been there as well. That's what I'm talking about. Because
well, he has been talking. The shadow minister of labor has been talking with me about this matter.
Yeah, but the shadow minister, whoever that person is, should have been there on the ground with the people to show solidarity. It's 3 weeks now. From Georgetown to Linden is just about an hour and a half. Mr. Lewis, I know that you have been in full solidarity with these folks, and I commend you for that. You did say that Mr. Deron Adams, the regional chairman, and the regional MP, one of them, Figueroa, was actually there to lend their support. And I say kudos to them. But we need to see more support of the people. We cannot just see all of these politicians rushing to Linden, rushing to Region 10, only to get their votes. And then whenever the people need help, you only see a sprinkle, a handful of these people who rush there. But let's move away from this here for now. I want to touch on this. Another discrimination, racial discrimination by the regime. The government, or so-called government, of Guyana did not release the grant to the International Decade of People of African Descent. And this is here now, you're hearing that the installed regime withdraws Apathy's subvention. Why are we surprised that this, an African Guyanese organization, is being discriminated against by this corrupt, illegal, racist regime? Are you surprised at this here, Mr. Lewis?
I want to tell you very clear, I'm not surprised. But let me say it to you, this is the height of the impasse, right? My grandmother would say this is the height of RASS pass, right? This is the decade for African people. The African institution that is handling or pursuing the issue of empowerment, you have decided you're not going to fund it. When you are funding other agencies, other groups with our tax dollars, I am not surprised, because you have had a situation where, you know, we have to hold hands and we got to bond on this issue. This is not a time for us to, as a people, to relent. This is not a time for us to divide ourselves. This is not a time for us to sit to analyze. These people have been calling us, they're calling Black leaders parasite. Think of it. They came out there and they lied on the leadership of Apathy. I made a point earlier that what these people do is that, you know, what they're setting up to do is to close up Apathy and appoint some group or some individuals and say, you are going to look after the interests of Black people, of African people. Let me tell you something. Let me make this quite clear to you. And I want the Black leaders in this country to understand, the Black people in this country to understand, African people to understand. I want them to understand one thing. Aubrey Norton is the leader of the opposition. As an African man, he speaks on behalf of African people, inclusive of other groups. And if this government is saying that they will not speak with him on behalf of the constituency that he represents, then I want to put them on notice. The African individuals who they are going to call and ask to come together and see what you're going to do for this community or that community. We didn't elect you, and you can't speak for us. We need to tell them. We need to let the point be known. We didn't elect them. What this government is doing, I've been saying it for years. African people can elect their leaders. But they are saying to African people, we don't care who you elect. We are going to put who we want to lead you, speak on behalf of you. This is the audacity that is taking place.
You know, we've seen three examples. The credit union out in the Bauxite Credit Union in Linden, they dismantled it and put their own cronies there. The guy
It's a multi-purpose co-op.
Good.
Not credit union in Linden.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that correction. Then you have the Guyana Public Service Credit Union. They were not comfortable with the leadership of Mr. Trevor Benn. They found a way to put their cronies so that they can illegally remove Mr. Trevor Benn. But thankfully, the court has made a decision against that, and they will have to make a decision sometime mid-part of this month. And then we see these illegal moves by the PPP regime. Now here it is with apathy. They are saying that this organization, what they spent on food and all manner of silly things, when they go about just handing out money, cash grants to every Tom, Dick, Drupati, Haripal, Lakbubin, Mohabir, everybody, they do that to $1 million worth of Polari, all manner of things, but they're targeting these African-led organizations. Look at this. Or do you think they would have withdrew the subsidy of Indian Arrival Committee? No, they would not. In fact, they would have doubled that up. But the IPAS, and this is where we got to open our eyes, the IPAS that they have against persons of African descent. You are correct. I suspect that they want to put their own Uncle Toms and Auntie Toms on this committee so that they can increase the subsidy and waste the money. They want to dictate who persons of African descent should have as their leaders. Lincoln, I think you're onto something again. You're always onto something. But the regime, they're upset when they're described as apartheid regime. Why do you suppose at this juncture, 2+ years into these people being installed into office, they're now being described, and rightfully so, Guyana as apartheid Guyana? Your take, sir.
Let me tell you, Mark, I've been writing about economic genocide since 2002. I've been writing about it. This is now, and I'm seeing it, that there's a well conceptualized, developed, and implemented program to marginalize African people in this country over the years. And let me take you back. When they had the killings of the 2000, early 2000, when a number of persons, they used to go out, take people out, kill them, and all these type of things. When people asked for a coroner's inquest or an inquiry to be held into the death of these people, nothing was done. You know what I used to say? Every time somebody died, they call them criminals. Not understanding that even a criminal must have his day in court. But you know what they did? The society did not rally against what they were doing. Because the program that they were on, what they did was to demonize a number of demonize the young people in the African community. So when they finish demonize you, you're not good for anything any longer. So we can kill you and society turn a blind eye to it. That is what was done. I spoke out against this thing in the early 2000s. And you know what happened? They took away this Chrysler subvention because they said that I'm talking about economic genocide.
Wait a minute.
They replaced it. Let me tell you, Mark, just give me a minute, let me explain to you.
Sure, sir.
After an engagement, they talk about all kinds of things. we didn't audit our books and what have you, and they didn't, and so on. When the audit was presented to them, after I take it back, they said they're going to give it back. And when they give it back, I must not speak about economic genocide. Who the hell they believe they were? So I continued to speak, and they took it away again. These guys believe that they are lords unto themselves. And what they've been doing to African leaders and the African community, it must come to an end. The first thing when you open your mouth and you raise something, they tell you, well, bring the evidence. Bring what? Bloody evidence. You have a responsibility to put the system, put systems in place to inquire into the circumstances that led to the accusations. I am not surprised now that somebody or some group may be accusing them. They are being accused of what do you call it? Apartheid leaders. They are being dubbed apartheid leaders. I want to tell you something. As I said, Mark, I go back to around 2000, early 2000, about 2001, 2002, I start to write about it. The evidence is there. Very thing. I am convinced beyond the shadow of all doubt that the characterization of these guys is damn well correct. This is what they're setting up. And I heard you a little while ago. Let me tell you something. Let me say it to people. Words have certain connotations in this society. If they say you're bad in this society, it is accepted in society that you are no good. Look at the words that are being used to characterize the conduct of Africans here. Look at the conduct, look at it. And for those who believe, who buy in to Ali's One Guyana, I'll tell you, I've been along a long time. You're going to see down the road where you are led. You are led off the precipice. Sami. Why is it that they're prepared to buy how much $1 million in ticket to go to a show, a concert? But they want, why is it they are prepared to do that? But they want to give you cash grant. They want to give you money that you can open a business. When you go to the places where you got to go to write up anything for any business in this country that the government manages, like small grants and so on, when you don't pick up those forms, I'm going to tell you this. When you pick those forms up, because a number of persons brought them to me, it's difficult for me to fill these forms up. And in some cases, they tell you, guess what, analysis and that kind of damn nonsense. That is only to frustrate you, and you will never fill the forms up. You will never get any money, but they can call their friends and comrades through another door and give them the money to do what they would like to have. People, wake up. Look, there are places where you have African people who are doing farming in this country. They're going now and telling you, move off here. We want to do development. And we're going to give you a house lot somewhere. You'll get a house lot. When you get your house lot, you're not going to build a house. Where are you going to get the money from? You're working. You can't mine pigs. You can't mine sheep or anything at the land that they're sending you. It is one way. This is an orchestrated program to destroy the African economic base. They will not give you 10 acres of land to do farming. And I would like a number of people should go there and ask to go and apply for it. Apply for the land. They're not going to give you a couple acre land. They're going to give you a house lot and tell you, say, we give you a house lot. We give 15,000 house lot. And of them, So much thousands of African people, but where you gotta get land for economic purposes, for economic empowerment, you're not getting it. Let me give you. I have seen persons who have applied for land. They have applied for it, and the amount of gerrymandering that is taking place and the push around. They get frustrated and say, "Look, we don't worry this project." But I want to let me tell you something. We people got to go. African people got to go and apply for land, and they must get.
And
And
when
let me tell you, Mark, we have to start now. We have to start now and band together. This is a question anymore of who don't like who or who get difference with who. Right? We have to understand that the real enemy are those people who want to marginalize us. And we got to take them on.
Got to take them on indeed. I know a lot of folks who have their lands up on the Linden Suicide Highway. They've been there for 25, 30 odd years, and they're just being sent a letter and asked to be removed. That's it. Get lost. That is what is happening. And that is why people are saying this is now Apartheid Guyana under the PPP regime. They can't go wrong with that. And they can't pay a couple of, persons of African descent, pay them little crumbs to come and counter what we're seeing, that Guyana, and describing Guyana as an apartheid regime. That is what it is. We are seeing the evidence, not just a little bit of evidence, lots of evidence. And there are folks who don't understand what the problem is, can't have an idea. They are going to sit on some programs and denounce what we are saying and try to create this impression that no, African Guyanese are being treated nicely. And look, one got a piece of land. Look, they got contracts. No, that is not true. It is not true at all. Maybe 0.5% of individuals who get the contracts are of African descent. And in order to get little crumbs from the installed regime, you've got to suck up to them. You've got to drink soup, like the guys them out in Linden who are building that school. Soup drinkers. They can't. You can't tell them that they're not soup drinkers because they are led to believe that they're doing something that is right, that is beneficial for their community out in Linden. They don't know that they're destroying their own community by siding with the oppressors, and not just them in Linden, but other places. Moving on, though. Moving on. And again, let's remind our listeners about what the teachers have to eat. On this the International Teachers Day, we take the time to salute all teachers across Guyana and outside of Guyana. We appreciate and respect what you do. But look at the hypocrisy. Ali commits to doing much better. Like you have said, Lincoln, don't just say that you're committed to do much better. You got to do better. All of these things, a bunch of talk, waste talk from a bunch of waste people who have been installed into office. Let's move on. Here it is. Bara Jagdir is talking about, and this was today. He says he's the vice president, but this is what he's talking about today. All of Guyana, all of it belong. I don't know what university you went to, but all of it belong to all of us. Bara Jagdir. All of Guyana belongs to all of us. This is what Jagdir was saying. But the evidence of them discriminating against persons of African descent is rampant. And there are others who are not African descent who are being discriminated against because of who they support politically and not the PPP. So if you are a person of Indian descent and you support the coalition, you will be discriminated against, or brother or sister, you will be discriminated against. But the bulk of individuals who are being discriminated against are persons of African descent. That is what's happening in Guyana. Yet this guy has the audacity to say all of it belongs to all of us. Lincoln?
Let me tell you something, Mark. Let me tell you this. When you go to the Lands and Surveys Commission, Lands Commission there, If you apply for 10 acres of land, I believe it's 10 acres of land, you don't have to put a business plan. If you apply for like a 50 or 60 acre land, you got to go with a business plan. A 10 acre land, you don't have to go with that. 10 or 20 acre lands. If this place belongs to all of us, what about those people who apply for 3 acres of land, 5 acres of land, and they ain't getting it? I want to watch people now, African people, go and apply. These guys, we have to challenge the administration. And we have to challenge them within the premise of the rules that are there. The rules say the man who applying for 10 acre land will have to get a business plan. You have to go with a business plan, you're going to get that 10 acre land. I'm urging Guyanese, I'm urging the African community, apply. Let Mr. Jack, you or Mr. Ali say you can't get. Apply. Go and apply. Because these people quick to run to say what you are saying is not the truth. I'm sure, Mark, if you apply for 10 acre land, or even if you apply for 30 acre land and you come with the best business plan, they will not want to give it to you.
No, even this
I know that they're vindictive, they're spiteful, they're vindictive.
Even this radio station is being attacked by the installed regime. We are being starved of any tax ads, compliments of taxpayer state ads. None whatsoever, not a cent. Channel 9, owned by Dr. Blackman and company, CN Sharma, and maybe one or two others who do not subscribe to this installed regime and their silly racist policies, we are being discriminated against. And I would say this, since these folks were installed into office, we here at 107.1 FM have received not a cent of taxpayers' state-owned ads, none whatsoever. And that is how they are discriminating against individuals who don't look like them and who don't support them politically. It is wrong, it is a crime, and it is a violation of one's human rights to earn a dollar. And that is what they're doing to us here also at 107.1 FM. But here, go ahead. You wanted to make a point.
That is how they behave. They will take state resources and discriminate against you. How they, and when people talk about the question, raising now the issue of apartheid regime, you say it's not so. All of us say it's not so when you're using state resources to marginalize a group of people. That's what you're doing. Something has to give. And I see you throw up the poster a little while ago.
Before we get back to that poster, before we get to that poster, please, Lincoln, there's a reason why I put this up. Jack Dale posted this today. He says, all of it, I don't know what it he's talking about, but belong to all of us. Suddenly he knows that all of it belongs to all of us. One Guyana, that's the slogan there, one Guyana, but persons of African descent, for the most part, are being treated worse than BOGS. That is a fact. But look at now, he's saying all of Guyana belongs to us, all of us. This is against Venezuela now. But in 2015, look what Jack Dave said. He was willing to make concession to Venezuela. Jack Dave floats. Jack Dave, now opposition leader, on Friday said the idea of negotiating a settlement with Venezuela that would see them coming into Guyana and using part of our channel in the river. Part of our channel, they could come in, they could dig out whatever they got dig out and enjoy the benefits as well. Are you surprised at all about this guy and his hypocrisy?
I am not surprised at anything Mr. Jagdu does. Mr. Jagdu is about expediency. It is about triumphalism. It is about doing things that can keep you in office. You don't care about the ordinary people. The ordinary East Indian man is to give him a vote. And for him to get that vote and get political power, that he and his cohorts are going to lord it over all of us. What is happening here? He gives to some, to one section, one or two sections, like as how we give to the let me just backtrack a bit. How they give to they call in what we call it, the leaders of the indigenous community, call them in, discuss with them, agree with them, and say how much billions we are going to give to them. So they take the state fund and they give to them. I'm not worried. I'm not against the indigenous community getting money to do their program and develop their communities. I don't have a problem with that. But this is the decade of the African community, for the African people. And in that decade, these people have received, you only get 2 more years for this decade to come to an end. And you have given, all that they have got is less than $500 million. Less than $500 million. You see, when the decade finish, they won't even get $1 billion. And you want to take that away from us? No, man. You're not prepared to sit to talk with our leaders. You want to take away what has been budgeted for us, and you want to impose who must lead us? What the hell wrong with these guys? What wrong with them?
That's a good question.
They're smoking dope or something.
Probably worse than that. They're smoking. They might be injecting all manner of things. Let's go over to the Detective Sergeant Bascom situation. He's a whistleblower. He talked about, in his opinion, because he was part of the investigating team of the GPF in the matter of Fagundes, who was murdered in front of Palm Court. A businessman is alleged to have been linked to that murder, along with a security guard by that company. We're not seeing any arrests. We're not seeing any questioning whatsoever. But we're seeing that the cards are stacked against this whistleblower cop. What is your take on the whole situation, including what the DPP has done to write to the acting chancellor of the judiciary so that the matter can be removed from in front of the magistrate? Your take on that, please, sir.
You know, we're tolerating this nonsense too long. And I tell you something. There are times you just bash the previous government. I want to tell you something. There are times you are right with your position. This lady has no regard for rules and laws and this type of thing. She don't have I don't know if she has a moral compass at any point. How can people do these type of things and believing that you is this what you swear to uphold? Some people must get justice and some must not. My God. She is no better than the people who we were labeling. This woman wicked, man. We will have to, let me tell you something. You see, the guy the detective sergeant who thereafter, we have to protect him. It is time the African community understand that we have to protect our own people. You know, I was talking to some comrades this afternoon, and I was telling them that we have to make sure that we protect our people who want to make money in a very legal way. We have to protect them. We have to protect our people who want to work legally and for honest bread. We got to protect them. We have to do that. In this case here, Bascom is his name. We have to protect him. Don't just leave this thing. We gotta stop. We gotta stop gaff about these things. We have to start put programs in place to protect our people. And we have to also, Mark, we have to also let those who believe that they are going to undermine the African cause and the African struggle, that we have to deal with them. Let them know that.
Absolutely. Well said. And the DPP, we're not sure. Someone is asking whether the acting chancellor has responded to the DPP's ridiculous request. We don't know as yet, but we hope that the acting chancellor of the judiciary would do the right thing and not remove the magistrate from this case as requested by the DPP, who is said to have a vested interest, a personal interest in this matter because of family connection to Azardine Mohammed and his father. Next to the man on the left, the extreme left there, is the husband of the DPP, Shalimar Haq. There he is right there. They're hugging, they're going somewhere. Then the guy in the middle with that black outfit on, black shirt, black pants, black purse, black boots, happens to be an inspector of police. So you see the sort of connection that we're seeing there with this individual who disguised himself or say that he's a businessman, Azardine Mohammed and his father. The connection, Irfan Ali, the connection, acting commissioner of police, Hicken, and all these manner of things we're seeing. Do you believe, Mr. Lewis, that Alimar or Shalimar Haq, the DPP, is basically attempting to protect businessmen from being investigated for the murder of Paper Sharks?
What I'm confident about is that she's discriminating in the pursuit of her job, or day-to-day pursuit in her job. And I will wish that either this woman will remove from office in some way or the other. Somebody said to me when I was talking yesterday about it, they said to me, but you're a unionist. I say you cannot have, the question here is not whether I'm a unionist or not. I'm talking about somebody losing their job. The question is that you have sworn to uphold the law, and not only the law. It is not only what you swear to uphold, it is how you conduct yourself in office. And this woman has too many things hanging over her. And we cannot have that, because tomorrow, today while it is Bascom, tomorrow it may be somebody else, some innocent person again, who will be targeted. Can't avoid it.
Definitely, she must go. Hopefully, the pressure will intensify on this particular situation. The people must not give up at all. She has got to go. She's not serving in the interest of Guyanese in terms of getting justice in an equitable manner. She is cherry picking. And I hope that the acting chancellor of the judiciary would ignore that letter, that the magistrate be removed. I have heard some individuals who are letter writers talk about this guy, Moore, who's a special prosecutor, that he was treated badly by the magistrate. I don't know. Citizens are held in contempt of court. They're placed on the bench. And these guys who are sworn to uphold the law and for equitable dispensation of justice, they must not be treated any different. So some folks are saying that it was embarrassing. The magistrate should not have placed this guy on the bench. Look, he should have been placed in jail, or anyone who are basically disrespecting the court and trying to do other stuff with the law to deny someone justice. Not only that, on the bench, should be placed in jail, Like I've said, not only him, but others. He has been going to court. He has been promising the magistrate to take the evidence, the videotape that exists. But yet he comes to court to say that there is no tape. He doesn't even make an effort to get a copy from 107.1 FM or maybe a Gordon Mosley or maybe someone else who has a copy of the tape to say to the magistrate, this is what I have done. But no, he continues to disrespect the magistrate. And so the magistrate had every right to send him on the bench. But some people who want to talk from both sides of the mouth are saying, oh, the magistrate was high-handed and she should not have done that. Those folks can go to hell. Go right ahead, Mr. Lewis.
Mark, let me tell you this. I don't believe that the police do have a copy of the tape. I don't believe it. You know something? Why people believe that they can discredit the intelligence of people in the society? Why should I believe that? What kind of police force we have? You get a press conference and you don't have a copy of the tape? They do have a copy of the tape. Why should one believe that they can go to the... But why in some cases we taking this type of work? Why are we taking them? Who's the prosecutor? I understand some special prosecutor you say, Mark.
Yep, his name is Mandel Moore. There he is. Mandel.
He's an attorney?
Yes, he is special prosecutor. He is an attorney. He's also he worked on the Shalimar hack of the DPP prior to that. Then he went on to become, after Claudette Singh went on at the Guyana Elections Commission to be the chairman, he replaced Claudette Singh as legal advisor for the police. So he's the legal advisor. He recommended that Bascom be charged, and he's also prosecuting the case, having been sent there to the court by Shalimar Haque.
Oh my God.
I know. And that's putting it lightly.
Why should these young men allow themselves to be treated like that? I want to say something, to young men and women. Let me tell you what. What you do is how the oppressors will judge you. Don't believe that if you join with the oppressors to oppress other people, that your turn will not come. When you decide that you're going to take a stand, the day you're going to take that stand, the oppressors are going to turn on you. I've heard many men say, oh, I got to eat, I got to do. And many of us, let me tell you something. Why should you want to eat the bread that is made by the devil? Yeah, that's serious.
Lincoln,
we are inculcate some degree of pride in ourselves, man.
Concerning what you said, that there is an existence of the tape, and that's the tape of the press conference held by the acting commissioner of police, Hicken, and the crime chief, Blanham. They are claiming that they don't have a copy of this here. The evidence shows otherwise, that look at the recorder there, look at the camera there, the screen on the right suggests that they were recording this press conference. The screen on the left is where they projected that they were playing so that the world can see what Bascom said. And so they launched this attack against Mr. Bascom. But let us get to the evidence. Let us get to the evidence of this videotape and this press conference. We have a copy of the tape. And so if they need a copy, we will give them a copy. But we are saying that the police force, they have a copy of this tape. They know why they're refusing to submit it, have it admitted as evidence. They know exactly what they're up to. and they're protecting the folks who are alleged to have committed that murder. Alleged. They're protecting those individuals for obvious reasons. Here is what happened at that press conference, sir.
What is important to note is the Guyana police force wishes to submit that it was logical the information about Mark Richmond to the police, which he said also is easily debunked as a deliberate falsehood and malicious in nature. That he brought roundabouts to the police as a deliberate falsehood and malicious in nature. And it's not, you're not only getting information from the police, you have the information there with clippings from the Let's go to Mr. Mark Richmond. His name was being taken wrong on social media. And
he's accused of being one of the shooters that murdered Paper Sharks. And the guy, Mark Richmond, happens to be a security guard at the Mohammed. A security guard at the Mohammeds. But they're not picking him up. They're not questioning him for nothing at all. The fact that the police are rushing to defend these guys and to sink the detective who is now the whistleblower, do you find this to be suspicious as the police continue on this path? How much confidence you think would erode public confidence in the police? Well, that question is for Lincoln Lewis, but Lincoln, we lost him there for a quick second, and we are not going to fall asleep on this matter. It looks like all of the media houses in Guyana have practically fallen asleep on this matter here. They are not picking this guy up. His name was mentioned by the detective who was part of the investigating team. He's not being picked up for questioning. Azardine Mohammed is not being picked up for questioning. And these guys go about their business as though nothing has happened. It's a business as usual. We have noticed what the DPP has done in wanting the magistrate to be removed from this matter for obvious reasons. And again, I repeat, for obvious reasons. It has got to stop one way or the other. Mr. Lewis, I asked a question as to why do you suppose that they're going after the whistleblower, Detective Sergeant Bascom, in this matter, and not going to arrest the suspects to interview them to see whether or not there is a case against these suspects? Why do you suppose they're protecting, so to speak, the suspects?
Most naturally, they have something that they want to hide. But my only concern is that I have a greater concern. Why do we want to get ourselves involved in these type of things? Why we want to do it? Because the justice is somewhat, the way we pursue justice in this country is skewed against people of in the African community. The African community got to begin now to stand up, hold hands, and defend the community at large. We have to do that. If we don't do it, they're going to pick out one. Then when they succeed with one, they take the other one. Like the issue with Burke, where they're trying to malign, not only malign Burke, but to demonize Burke. We have to defend these guys. And just the same when they come after you, Mark, we got to defend you. We have to stand up for you because we know they're going to come with some trump-up things. These guys are, let me tell you something. These guys are basic liars. They are liars. They are rogues. They are vagabonds, right? The names that the names that they attribute to us, that is just what they are. We have to do something about it. Can't leave it like that.
Definitely something has to be done about it, and the people are not sleeping. International Teachers Day, kids are in tents and all manner of things. We saw some folks out in the area came out. The others again in the opposition, and there we go. I will continue to mention the opposition. The fact that the majority of them are fast asleep. They're quick to abuse out each other and all manner of war and against each other. But to go after the oppressors, they just do not do that at all. And so look at what is happening. World Teachers Day again. Look at the students at school somewhere out in the back road. This is what is happening. And then we look at forms of corruption. Look at this, Aruma to get resident doctor. Look at this building, $14 million.
You ever watch it? Listen to me. It's not 14 million. Let me tell you something. That is what they're going to. That is what they're using for what we call for doctors, right?
Yeah.
For health services, right? Compare that and where Jack Dio live in. Compare that and where Jack Dio live in.
This is the bathroom. This is the bathroom, or even that big house that Irfan Ali, when he was Minister of Housing, right away he acquired a big property from Guy Suko at Lenore there. Big property. Look at this, $14 million. This can be built for $200 and something thousand. You buy the wood, it costs like about $20,000, and that's it. And you get a zinc sheet for about 100,000 or maybe 50,000, and that's it. You get the windows, everything comes up to less than 200,000. But look what these vagabonds put it as: $14 million. $14 million. I don't know. I just don't know. And again, we go back to the hypocrisy of Jack Dio, saying that all of Guyana belongs to us. I don't know who is us. And then not from he said.
What do I mean? All of Guyana, about how much some people will get. That is what you understand me. That's the question that needs to be asked. Like the 26 contractors who get 54 or $52 million to as contractor, we say it's big money. We give 26 contractors job at Buxton.
Look,
check the job.
They're not
check
contractors. They're not contractors, you know. There might be contractors in other things and other areas, but they're not contractors to do this. These guys are connected to the PPP. And so what the PPP give, $56 million as basically handout money to them to go about and knock two boards and paint, put some tar on some bridges, and that's it. $56 million to shut up people in the African communities. And they are giving it to their cronies, contractors they call them, but they're not necessarily this sort of contractors. Maybe they're other contractors, so to speak. They're contracted maybe to do other things. But you are on to something indeed. But let's go back to this here now, Mr. Lewis. Apartheid Guyana, under the PPP regime, as we prepare to close, how do we respond to this situation where African Guyanese are being treated worse than third-class citizens in Guyana? How do we respond to this, sir?
We have to, the African Guyanese, got to look at the track record of these men. Look at how they behave now. They have to make a judgment about how they will treat with them. We can't sit down any longer, because I'll tell you what, you know, when people say you're waiting for the next election to deal with, at the rate these guys going, by next election, there's nothing left, you know. They're gone with everything for themselves. This here is a situation where they and their families, what they're doing by taking state land, taking away ancestral land and all these type of things, putting their friends to front and get the contracts, the state contracts, they will be rich for generations. Their family is going to be rich for generations to come. The parting of Guyana for themselves. And a certain set of people will not be able to get anything. If you'll observe, where African people occupy land, they're telling you to move and we will put you somewhere else. Where other races have land, they say we're going to regularize you here, right? That in itself is two different rules for us. The African, there was one rule, and the other communities, there's another rule. So when people talk about the whole issue about apartheid, when people raising this, there is evidence in the society to support their accusations.
Lots of evidence indeed. Lincoln Lewis, my guest this evening. It's always a pleasure to have Lincoln, albeit under the circumstances where people are being discriminated against in Guyana. Teachers, no good salaries under the PPP regime. Look at how they're being treated. Lots and lots of corruption and racism and racist policies. Quickly, I wanted to ask this question concerning the way those individuals in Albaistung are being treated. They're called squatters. They were told by Edgel, who describes himself as a bishop, that they ought to be removed. They will be removed, and they will not receive a cent. Your take, sir.
There are some people like behind the cloth, you know. There are some people like behind it. Minister Edgel, you have to pity guys like them. But I'll tell you what, when they are kicked, they run back to the community, and we always just open arms and accept them guys. We need to do other things. I'm not saying you hurt them, but these guys, when they wake up in the morning, they must be aroused with pickets in front of their house, their homes.
Can I
the
say
same thing that the PPP used to do to the previous government? You need to do the same thing to them and more.
Can I say something to you, Lincoln? I will just say to the people what they should do. I am not going to say it. I am not afraid to say it. I can say it. But I want somebody else to say it. I want somebody else to advise them what to do. You guys listen carefully. Here's what you need to do to the PPP.
Right across Guyana, when the ministers of Granger or Nagamutu come here after the 21st of March, you say to them, walk behind them, chase them out, they're going to be illegal. Say to them, you're illegal. Free up the country, you're undemocratic. They're going to face a different situation right across the country.
When they come to the communities, whether it is in Berbice or Essecubo and Linden or in South Georgetown or Agricola or in Ennore or Port Morant, the people of Guyana should treat them as illegal. I said they should walk behind them, chase them out of your communities, because it means they've been squatting in power.
When the PPP people come to your communities, Jagdeo, Irfan Ali, and the others, walk behind them and chase them out. They have been squatting in the seats of government since August the 2nd, 2020. So when they go to Buxton, chase them out. When they go to Philippi, chase them out. When they go to Cromarty, chase them out. When they go to Wim, chase them out. When they go to Linden, chase them out. Ituni, run them out. Pokwani, run them out. Sophia, run them out. Belladrum, run them out. Weldad, run them out. New Hope, run them out. Run them out. All over, Bartica, run them out. Let them run them out. Run them out. They are squatting. They are illegal. They do not want the elections petitions to be heard because they know that they are illegal. They know that they have rigged the goddamn election. So do like what the PPP urged their supporters to do to the coalition. Chase these PPP vagabonds out of your communities. Stop accepting their insults. Stop accepting crumbs and stop have them insult your culture by having Irfan wind up, dance up, skin up, all manner of dotishness he's doing. But he's not going to do that come Diwali and Pagwa and them kind of thing. He's not dance up and skin up and things. But they know how to disrespect persons of African descent. Chase them out. Lincoln? Anything else before we go?
Thanks, Mark, for inviting me. Thanks for the viewers for spending time with us tonight. I hope that what you've started, you can invite me another time for us to continue the dialogue.
I will. You're always welcome here on 107.1 FM. At least you don't stay away. You don't get vexed. You don't, your bombs don't raise. You return. We have a civilized discussion. There are times we disagree on issues. Not all the times, but also even the times that we disagree, we do it in a civil manner. You don't get vexed and you don't run away from this show. You're always here and you support this show 100%. That's what real leaders do. That's what real fighters do. You're a real fighter and you're a real leader. Thanks for your sacrifices over the years, Lincoln. I appreciate it. God bless you.
Thank you.
Good. All right, Lincoln Lewis there for you guys. Always a fighter, always willing to be on the show. Others run away because their bumps raise or because they don't like what they hear at times and all manner of dotishness, but let them stay in their corner until reality kicks in. But for now, we are in an apartheid country. Guyana is an apartheid country. The PPP is basically what it is, racist and vindictive. They have been going after persons of African descent. They're bulldozing their homes. They're chasing them out of places they have been occupying for over 30 plus years. The people in Al-Waistang, my prayers are with you. I know there are times you guys are being misguided politically. And then because of some of the corrupt individuals around you guys who are close to the PPP, notorious individuals, I understand how you guys feel. But the lack of proper leadership in the coalition as well might be giving you guys an opportunity to feel as though you're hopeless. You're not hopeless. You're just not hopeless. They are more with you than they are those few in the PPP who are against you. And those of you who are being chased out of your homes and on the lands that you've occupied for over 30 years, not to worry. Bishop Edgell and all these guys, they don't have your interest at heart. They said you don't deserve a cent, but soon they will come to you to give you crumbs, maybe give you $50,000, maybe $75,000 and say to go because they realize that it is not looking good on them. It is just not. So they're going to come to pacify you soon. Watch out for the crumbs. But also keep in mind that they may come, some of their supporters, some among you, will give you the impression that, look, you're getting a little thing now under the PPP regime. But the little thing that you're getting now is basically pills that you will swallow that will not keep any longevity in your vein, none whatsoever. Because the little pills that they give you to swallow, they're going to come and dig it right back out of you because they feel they own you, and then you got to keep doing things for them. Sometimes dirty things, not so good things. And this is not just confined to the people of Al-Waistang or those contractors in Buxton. It is just not confined to those two communities. They disrespect Black folks or persons of African descent throughout the length and breadth of Guyana. And it has to stop one way or the other. And you've got to come to the realization that Guyana is indeed an apartheid state. And before we go, we've got to look at this. The evidence, they're taking the monies away from Apathy. They feel that the Apathy guys is spending too much money on food, all manner of things. And this is the same regime. They're spending millions of dollars, your taxpayers' dollars. Guess what? On wind-up session, bubble session. And look, now I like a little back ball. I don't see anything wrong with that. But they're using it to distract us. You want to clap? They wouldn't take these shows into, let's say, Albion. They wouldn't take a clap, 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 clappy back, clap, clap. I got to look for this video. Seriously. They wouldn't take a clappy, 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 clappy back, back, clap, clap video at Albion, Port Morant, and these sort of things. They're going to take nice shows, nice shows. And they're going to go there and going to sit, and Irfan and them, they're going to fold their heads and they're going to shake hands and clap and things. But this is what they take into your communities. Aren't you guys realizing what's going on? Clap. Well, if that is the sort of clapping that's going on, I don't want to be clapped. For now, I'll give you guys a real clap. I wish you all the best. Until tomorrow, same place, same time, right here on 107.1 FM. I love you guys. God bless you. And for those of you who are celebrating your birth anniversary today, not Mark Phillips. He doesn't get a happy birthday from us here at all, period. He doesn't get that from us. But for all those of you who are celebrating your birth anniversaries, happy birthday to all of you. God bless you. And let's continue to pray. And not just pray. When they call for protest, the opposition, go out and protest. It is worth it. It is worth our future generation. It is all worth it. We cannot give up. We cannot sit back and clap, because when they clap back at us, they hit us really, really hard where it hurts, economically and otherwise. Their objective is not to empower us, but they want to see us sit back and clap in all manner of clapping. Be careful. God bless you.
Hey.